Here we go, it is time to take a look at what Lucius Gratis has been up to. The Wizard Emperor isn't planning to stay on the sidelines forever. Plus, we get the attack on the Land of the Sun beginning in earnest, with Sister Lily's Paladin crew having a nasty surprise for the locals. Let's get to it. We open chapter 344 with Lucius greeting a strange arrival, asking how they're doing. It is someone we had never expected to see again so late into the story. That's right, it is everyone's favorite character, Morris. The former Diamond Kingdom mage has seemingly died during the climax of the Spade Kingdom raid, trying to assist the Dark Triad in birthing the Tree of Qliphoth. Even if he is still alive, Morris didn't get out of that fight without serious injury. We can see he is heavily bandaged up even now, having lost both legs, an arm, and an eye. He's gone from a cackling villain to a hollowed out shell of a man. Now that we've seen what sort of state he is in, Lucius asking him how he feels seems like a cruel joke on the Emperor's part. Morris is a wreck and is of course doing terribly. He has to be in constant agony. Lucius is pretty much just rubbing it in. But hey, it's Morris. No one in this series deserves the pain quite so much. So carry on, Lucius. The Diamond Mage himself admits that he is only alive due to his new master's intervention following Lucifero's manifestation, before asking the Gratis Tyrant what he needs the sage for today. It seems Lucius has been drawing on Morris's expertise for a while, likely helping him perfect the Paladin process. He has probably proven a useful asset due to his devil lore, just as he did for the Dark Triad. However, today, the would-be tyrant has decided it is his turn to help Morris. Declaring that he wants to offer the researcher mutual aid, Lucius sits down on the throne. Only this time, he has traded in his last humble chair for one with far more cross-focus imagery. There are 3 of them, one above each shoulder, and a third over Lucius's head. He is certainly going in on the religious symbolism, appropriate for the guy with the army of angelic followers. However, he is not the one placed upon the cross. Lucius isn't having to sacrifice anything for his power. Instead, hooked up to the 3 crosses, we see a set of unexpected faces. The Dark Triad have returned, even Vonica and Xenon. All 3 are Lucius's captives, caged by magical energy spheres above the throne. The same kind of energy that held Yami and William during the Spade Kingdom raid is wrapped around the Zogratis trio. There is no sign of the rest of the Tree of Qliphoth, however. The throne is doing something similar but distinct. The 3 Zogratis don't even appear to be conscious, lost within the magical binding. Lucius, the elder Zogratis sibling, is seemingly using his 3 younger kin as glorified batteries, drawing upon their magic to empower himself. As much as Lucius likes to act all-powerful, he's relying on external sources of strength to get things done. So much for being the ultimate devil host, right? Still, this setup appears to be working. Lucius places a hand on Morris's chest, and with a glow, the mage returns to normal. Entirely normal. His eyes reform, his fingers regrow, and the ligaments of his leg muscles weave back together before our eyes. Morris's body just completely repairs itself, like he's Wolverine. And yippee, isn't it nice to see Morris restored to full health, guys? Truly, no one in this manga deserved it more than him. The Diamond Mage can barely believe it, staring down at his own hand. He begins to laugh in wonderment. This is something far beyond conventional recovery magic. That just heals injuries in a way similar to basic medicine. But this spell went far beyond that. Regrowing lost ligaments, returning sight to the blind. This level of power is miraculous. Lucius could create entirely new bodies with this kind of power. He could change what it means to be human. As far as Morris, the lifelong researcher, is concerned, this is the power of God. It's easy to see it that way. A benevolent miracle-granting God at work. More likely, however, it is the power of Dante. As miraculous as it looks, it fits with his body magic. That could regenerate heavy injuries just as easily as this spell could. For all the theatrics, the shiny lights, and the talk of holiness, Lucius comes off more like a man trying to convince himself that he is a god. To use holiness as justification to do whatever he wants. In reality, all this stuff is just regular magic. It is powerful, but not as all great or holy as Lucius would like you to believe. Still, he has convinced Morris. The Diamond Scholar is already back to his old self, immediately rising from his chair and promptly starting to plot some new experiment aloud. He is likely going to try some new horrifying way to create even greater magical power, probably bathing in the blood of children or something. However, Lucius gently places a finger on Morris's head, which makes the mad magical scientist stop instantly. The tyrant doesn't explain, but this is clearly another use of his soul magic. Lucius has some basic standards, and he's not going to allow the villain to continue his old ways. Morris looks blank, like he is not even aware of the world around him, as Lucius commands him to use both his scientific skills and modification magic for the sake of world peace. The magic imprints these words directly on Morris' soul, an all-powerful commandment he cannot deny. The Diamond Mage agrees to the new stipulation like it was perfectly natural, walking off and leaving the Wizard Emperor looking surprisingly pensive. It is strange to see mixed emotions from Lucius here. At a glance, everything seems to be going his way. His soul magic is as powerful as ever. He has turned Morris from a butcher into a better man, and a valuable ally. But the fact that he is having to resort to his magic when dealing with someone whose help he needs is telling. Dealing with Morris, a man who specializes in committing atrocities like the Diamond Kingdom's magic cultivation program, has to make anyone question their ideals. Lucius can force him to walk a better life via soul magic, but will that stick? Will that truly make Morris a better person? Or will he backslide, finding a way to rationalize Lucius's orders into justification for more atrocities? Even the would-be master of the world seems unsure if this really worked. His planned utopia is built on caging his siblings, the expertise of a madman, and a power he can't be confident in. Lucius has to have a bitter taste in his mouth right now. And don't just take our word for it, Sister Lily can recognize his conflict in her master, asking Lucius what is wrong as he calls her over to join him. Even as twisted as she's become thanks to the Paladin process, she retains her real self-sense of concern for others and her ability to see what is troubling someone. Lucius deflects the question, however. There is no way he would admit any kind of doubt or weakness to a subordinate. He values their faith in him far too much for that. Instead, the Emperor starts to talk to Lily about the Land of the Sun, his former confident smile back in place even when describing a potential threat. It is here that we get a proper look at the geography of this faraway country, revealing that like Japan itself, the Land of the Sun is an archipelago. It consists of multiple islands, all pretty close to one another and in a very familiar shape, but don't share a land tie to any other continent. And that is worth keeping in mind. Any attack Lucius wants to launch against them will have to come either via sea or through magic. It won't be a one-time thing either. Invasion will require some degree of continual sea travel if you want to occupy the entire country rather than just a single island. That's one more reason the Paladins are so useful. A few of them equal an army of conventional troops, and they can fly through the air freely. Interestingly, it seems clear that Lucius doesn't know Asta is hidden in the Land of the Sun. He merely sensed something is going against him in the country. He describes it to Lily as an inconvenient future, one that will interfere with world peace. He has realized it is a threat, but not why or how. Without knowing all the relevant facts, the predictions of Lucius get significantly more vague. It doesn't seem to trouble the elders or Gratis too much, however. He must have dealt with some hazy futures before. Instead of going himself, he simply charges Lily with eliminating this unstable future. She, of course, is happy to accept. Lily remains the loyal, halo-wearing paladin, completely devoted to her lord. With those few final words, we leave the master villain behind and rejoin the three paladins hovering above the Land of the Sun. The group isn't wasting any time with their attack on the country. They are already flying over a large town and descending to the streets. Lily notes that Lucius is unable to make a move while this unknown variable is in play. They need to eliminate it to bring their plans back into motion. The Grice Paladin agrees, noting that they won't let anyone take up even a fraction of their master's precious time. The group begins looking around the town. The Paladins remark that this place is quite odd. They have yet to see a single soul. No one is walking the streets or cowering in their homes. This entire settlement appears deserted, which is bizarre considering its sheer size. This isn't some minor backwater. It's a pretty big place. A regional capital maybe. Why is no one here? Lily, however, spots a familiar torii set upon the darkened sea. She seems to recognize something about it, and we know the story behind this relic and the region in general. This is the Yami clan's old hometown, the one built upon the sea, linked to hell. Was it evacuated following Sukehiro's alleged rampage out of fear of the bloodshed making the place unsafe? Or did Ryuya's clairvoyance provide enough warning to clear the place out before Lily and her friend showed up? Either option seems quite plausible. It is a moot point, however, because the trio isn't primarily there for the town. The Paladins instead flew over the bay towards the shrine gate. Lily seems to know its significance. That was probably what they were looking for in the first place. The three Paladins look almost ridiculously tiny standing next to the giant structure, ants lingering in the shadow of something much bigger than them. Yet one wave of the hand by the Grice-looking Paladin is enough to devastate the torii, the gate reduced to shards of ice in just a second. That gives us some further evidence that the Paladin is indeed Heath Grice. After all, ice was his magic type. Between him and Zenon, it seems clear Lucius has some ability to bring the dead back into his service. Soul magic is both potent and versatile. Couple it with body magic to create a new physical form for the deceased, and Lucius's minions cannot permanently die. Getting rid of the Paladins once and for all is going to be extremely difficult. Lily turns to their wild-haired companion, identifying him as Yurulu, and asking him to take the next step. The smiling Paladin complies at once, flicking through his grimoire before finding the spell he needs here. Yurulu takes a deep breath, filling his lungs before letting it rip with beast magic, Holy Howl. Like we saw with Lily right after her transformation, all Ellie Paladin's magic is supercharged and purified by their newfound post-human status. The power of his sanctified spell echoes out over the bay. The powerful magic is loud enough to be heard for miles. For a few seconds, the Paladins simply linger in the air, flapping their wings as they wait. But then, there is a rumble from beneath the water. A shape starts to form under the waves, soon shifting into 5 ominous shadows as the ripples spread outward. Before finally, the great 5-headed dragon breaks through the surface in a tidal wave of flesh and anger. Yurulu's spell has revived the ancient threat to the land of the sun, purifying it just as Lucius did the Paladins. However, when applied to a giant rampaging monster, that doesn't mean much beyond a power-up. Given that last time it awoke from beneath the waves, the dragon was literally unkillable, and now it has 3 extremely potent mages backing it up, the land of the sun is suddenly in very serious trouble. The great creature towers above the Yami clan's old hometown, roaring as it celebrates the breaking of the ancient seal. It is already more than eager for the chance to start wrecking the home of its captors and now absent jailers. The 3 Paladins look down upon their new comrade, highly content in their work. As Lily declares, this is now a holy dragon. And with it, they will make the land of the sun the foundation of world peace, either by taking the country over or wiping it out. Whatever they need to do in order to give Lucius peace of mind, the Paladins will get it done. But the invaders are not going to have it so easy. 5 somewhat familiar figures are standing on a rooftop in the town. The holy dragon's ridiculously massive size is now fully apparent as we see things from their perspective. This thing is ludicrously big, the size of a skyscraper looming over the squadron of defenders. Still, they don't seem deterred. If anything, it is a pleasant surprise for them to get to see a legend so literally brought to life. The Land of the Sun has 5 great heroes already in place to match up with these 5 massive dragon heads, and they are more than up for a challenge. That's right, the Ryuzen 7 are here. Mostly. We've got all the members of the group we have met thus far. Hanegatsuji Jozo with his demon mask, Ooka Daizemon laughing up a storm, Imari Komari licking her lips at the prospect of battle, and a lady we haven't met before. She looks like a counterpart to Ichika, at least in regards to the fact that she is another lady in a kimono with a katana. This new samurai even has opposing colors to the Yami clan heir, opting for a white robe instead of black. But our Mr. Ryuzen member looks far less enthusiastic about this conflict than her comrades. Is she weak or just reluctant to fight? It's hard to blame her for being less excited. The dragon is building-sized. Either way, Ichika is in command, and she is not afraid of any stupid titan dragon thing. Her family was the one assigned to guard it. This creature might be tough, but it is absolutely beatable. She has already drawn her blade, proudly proclaiming that as long as Ryuzen 7 exists, these attackers will not lay a finger on the Land of the Sun. Given how much power the 4 members of this group have already demonstrated against Asta, this is going to be a pretty even brawl. Neither side has a clear advantage. We've got the Paladins sporting Lucius's enhanced magic versus the Ryuzen with their devastating Zaten. It will be a surprise if any part of the old town is left standing after this fight is over. But while that battle begins, we go to a different part of the country, far removed from the attack. That's a great thing about an archipelago. You've got a bunch of small islands to hide people on. We are here to see Asta and how he is taking it. And our hero is once again on the ground. And man, at this point, it seems like that has become his default for this arc. We take our eyes off him for 5 minutes, and Asta has already taken yet another beating. Still, this time our boy is not out of the fight just yet. He still has Demon Slasher in hand. He may be kneeling and panting, but he is not down for the count. All the while, a stranger smiles at him. It is a smug, irritating grin, the sort that makes you want to punch him. It seems that while the other 5 Ryuzen 7 members have gone to fight the Holy Dragon, the 2 remaining members of the group have stayed behind to continue Asta's training. And man, this new guy exudes confidence. If you showed a picture of him to someone and told them that he was an anime protagonist, they would certainly believe you. Behind him, the other remaining Ryuzen member simply strums at a stringed instrument, presumably providing background music for his ever-confident friend. The smug man proclaims that Asta doesn't have room for distractions or boasting right now. He doesn't care about being determined or gutsy or any of that other stuff our favorite Black Bull likes to talk about. This guy is the self-proclaimed strongest of the Ryuzen Seven, and he's going to get Asta to demonstrate his own power, one way or another. And with that, we end chapter 344. Things are seriously heating up. What plan does Lucius have for Morris? And how will the fight with the Holy Dragon go? I'm curious how its power compares to the Ancient Demon, the likes of which previously threatened the Clover Kingdom. And will this super strong guy kick Asta around some more? Probably. Leave us all your predictions in the comments down below. As always, I'm Slice of Otaku. Thank you all so much for watching and an awesome day. I love you.